Hi everyone, Abby here, and welcome back to my channel for Tech Tuesday, or welcome if you're new. So today I'm going to be telling you guys some major cons I have noticed about the Z Flip 5 that YouTubers just aren't telling you about. I know a majority of people who have the Z Flip 5 who made videos on YouTube either got the smartphone for free from Samsung, or they got like a unit that they're borrowing and testing for a few days and then they drop a review. And I know a lot of people who did get this from Samsung, they don't want to say anything negative about the phone, but there's definite cons to it, guys, and I'm going to be talking about that today. I do want to let you know that this video is not sponsored. I did buy this phone as well with my hard-earned money, and I had this for about 4 months now. I'm going to tell you all of the cons I have noticed. But before I get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, so you can stay tuned to all my new videos dropping weekly, and so you can help the channel grow. And the first con I've noticed about this phone is this smartphone overheats, and it overheats pretty easily. If you're just on the phone, maybe texting, sending messages, browsing emails, no issue. But if I start, having multiple tabs open, if I start watching YouTube videos, watching Netflix, it overheats. And it gets warm to the touch. Even through the silicone case here, I can feel the phone getting warm. And that's not something that I really like. To be honest, it has not affected the phone in any way. It's performing fine, but I definitely don't think it's great for your smartphone to get super hot. I think this might, be bad over time and the battery and the other components to be running hot all the time. So the next con I have found about this phone is this smartphone here attracts dust, pet hair, lint, stuff like that like crazy. And it's something that I find super annoying because I gotta wipe this down multiple times a day. It honestly attracts more dust on the inside display than the outer. Did wipe down this phone before recording, so I don't know if you guys can see that. There is a bit of dust on it, but nothing crazy. I do travel with like a little dust microfiber cloth to keep it clean because it's a real pet peeve of mine to see dust all over it. It's a little better than the Z Flip 4. The Z Flip 4 had to wipe down like 8 times a day or more. This is about 3-4 times a day, so not as bad, but it's definitely something that's annoying to me, having to wipe down the phone this much. When I had a slab phone, it really was not attracting dust at all. And the major thing for me about it attracting dust is that this phone only has an IPX8 rating, which means it's water resistant up to a certain extent, but it is not dust resistant, not dust proof at all. So with the phone attracting dust like it is, it's a little bit worrisome for me that over time, the accumulation of dust in the inside and the hinge and in the port here could lead to some issues. Most smartphones on the market now have a higher rating and they are at least dust resistant or dust proof. I do have like a little dust protector here on mine just to prevent any dust from getting in the port here. I did purchase this off Amazon, pretty cheap. If you're interested, I got a link in the description for that. And yes, I know if you do get dust all in your port and it gets all messed up, this phone can still wireless charge, but I'm not a huge wireless charging fan because wireless charging is slow. I mean, with the super fast charging with this, I can charge my phone in about an hour. With wireless charging, it takes around 2 hours to wireless charge, so I'd prefer to do the faster methods. And if you're finding this video helpful so far, please go ahead and smash that like button for me. I'd really appreciate it. So the next con for me is the hinge. Now, Samsung has claimed that this new hinge is amazing, vast improvements over the Z Flip 4, and in some ways I think there are improvements, but in other ways, not so much. What I mean by that is sometimes when I try to put it at different angles, it just doesn't stay there. When I put it at angles, sometimes it just doesn't hold as good as the Z Flip 4 did, in my opinion. For example, wouldn't even stay for a second there. Let me try again. Keeps closing. Whereas with the Z Flip 4, I can legit put this at like any angle and it will stay. Even if I open it like this much, it'll stay. It's not closing on me. And you can kind of prop it up like this, but if you do want to have certain angles, it just does not hold. So don't love that. This is just like something I noticed because sometimes if I'm like in bed watching this, I might want to put it at a different angle because there's glare and it will hold at 90 degrees, but at some other angles, it just doesn't hold. And honestly, guys, I thought when I first got it, like, is my Z Flip 5 broken? Like, why does it feel so weird? Because when you open it, there's like no resistance. But I went to 2 different stores that have display models and they feel the exact same as my Z Flip 5. So I'm thinking that the Z Flip 5s all feel like that, and that's just the way the new hinge is. So the next con I've noticed about the Z Flip 5 is the battery life. Now, Samsung claimed that the Z Flip 5 had a better battery life than the Z Flip 4. But in case you guys didn't know, they have the exact same battery. Samsung did not give us a bigger battery, a stronger battery, nothing. So with my usage here being kind of, I say, like a medium user. So with my usage, things like checking emails, answering text messages, web browsing, going on YouTube, watching videos, taking photos, taking videos, and kind of just using various different apps, I get on average 7.5 hours of battery life with this phone. Now with the Z Flip 4, I got the exact same thing. And here with the newer processing chip, you know, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, you think that it'd be a lot better, but it's just not, sadly. And that is a huge thing for me because I have to charge my phone every single day. The only times I'm not really doing that is if I'm having a very light usage day and I'm just kind of checking emails, answering texts here and there, not taking any calls and not watching videos or doing anything, which is rare for me. If you're someone who uses your phone like that, it could probably easily last you a day. But if you're someone who you use your phone for hours a day and you are watching videos, you are taking calls, you are using your phone, you're probably not going to get a full day's usage. It's definitely a weak point for me because I do have to, if I'm going somewhere, walk around with a charger. Now the next con for me is the video ratio. Now with the Z Flip 5 here, we do have that kind of weird aspect ratio, and I don't love it. It doesn't make watching videos a great experience seeing those big bars at the side. And if you try to zoom in and zoom out of clips, you can lose information and it's just not great for me. I really wish that Samsung would have made it a little bit wider so we can have that 16:9 aspect ratio that the majority of YouTube videos, Netflix videos, content is built for. If you're coming from a slab phone where you're watching videos and you're viewing content all the time, you're gonna definitely notice the difference here. I'm hoping that the next version, I've heard rumors that they're gonna make the Z Flip 6 a bit wider, so I'm really hoping that we do get that. Another thing kind of talking about the display here, so this is another con, is that the brightness is not amazing. And if you are stuck in bright lighting, you definitely have to pump up your brightness a lot. And you guys can see here from me, I just got back from vacation, but in the Caribbean sun, even though I am in the shade here, you can hardly see the display. And this is at max brightness. So I definitely think that we need to get the display being a bit brighter. The interior display does get brighter than the outer one, the cover screen. The cover screen is almost impossible to read even at max brightness in bright sunlight. So you're gonna have to really rely on your interior display. If you are pumping it up for long periods of time outside, it's gonna drain the battery life very quickly. You're not gonna get much and you're gonna have to charge your phone a lot more. So I definitely would have liked to see, you know, a brighter display, better battery life, a combination of those things here. And another con for me about the Z Flip 5 is the crease. Now, despite Samsung's claims that the crease is new and improved with the Z Flip 4, I kid you not, it looks and feels the exact same to me. And as someone who had the Z Flip 4 for a year, that should mean something. I will say the crease is not super visible unless the display is off or you are in bright lighting or at certain angles. So that's when you could really notice it. So that's something that could be a bit annoying. You could see it here, you could see it dead on, not so much. Like this, you don't notice it as much because obviously the phone's folded, but that's something that I did want to mention. And you definitely do feel the crease. I do want to say that kind of get used to it pretty quickly, the scrolling and kind of feeling it after using the phone for a bit, but it's definitely something I did want to mention. You can see it and you can feel it. And the last con for me with the Z Flip 5 is that sometimes the fingerprint reader doesn't work super well. Sometimes it takes a couple of attempts, a couple of taps to unlock it. Now you do have other options to unlock your phone. You know, you could do the face unlock, you could do the pin, but I like to do the fingerprint reader because it's the fastest for me if I'm just holding the phone. But I find I have to get it like just right, or sometimes it takes a couple of different taps to unlock it. The fingerprint reader, not as good as it was on the Z Flip 4. Not the biggest deal out there, but something I did want to mention. I find it a bit of a hassle sometimes, and it's something that I go through at least once a day using this phone since I've had it. Now those are all the cons I've noticed about the Z Flip 5 here. Now one of those or some of those may be a deal breaker to you, or you may not mind any of those cons, but these are definitely some things that I wanted to mention for you because most people, like I said, aren't talking about the cons here. Now, I will say, despite the cons here, I do think that this is a great phone, and I did choose to upgrade to the Z Flip 5 from the Z Flip 4. If you guys want to know all the reasons why I did choose to upgrade, I have a whole video kind of comparing the two, and you can find that at the top right, also in the description below. Now, I will say, despite the cons, I do think that it is a great phone, and I think that it has more pros than cons for me. I love how portable it is, how lightweight it is. I love the fact that I can flip it in different angles and put it in different bags and fun to use. And I'm by no means saying that this is the best phone in the world, because it's not. I think most slab phones out there, if you're looking at the specs, they obviously win over the Z Flip 5, being, you know, better camera, better battery life, all of these things. But the portability here, the ability to flip it, the user experience, I just don't think that can be beat for me right now. And coming from a slab phone and going to the Z Flip series, I don't think I'm going to be going back anytime soon, because I just love the portability aspect, and it's a joy to use. I think it's a really fun phone. And if you guys are looking to pick up the Z Flip 5 today, I've gone ahead and left a link down in the description for you to use. And if you want to see my Z Flip 4 cons and my Z Flip 4 comparisons, I have all of those kind of Samsung phone videos linked in the description for you as well. Or you can check out my Samsung playlist, also coming up at the top right. Now, if you guys have the Z Flip 5, or if you have the Z Flip 4, if you have any of the Z Flips, let me know your experience with it. Do you think it's a great phone? Are you liking it? Are you disliking it? And if you don't have it, do you think you're gonna pick it up? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I do read all the comments, so I'll definitely get back to you. And that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.